You have exactly 11 days until demo day. The clock is running, and your pitch slot is locked, and your current deck is a mess of half-finished ideas. At this stage, the outcome is binary. A sharp, coherent presentation secures the $800,000 seed momentum your runway requires. A confusing presentation leaves you with zero investor conversations. To fix the deck in this narrow window, you face three distinct paths. You can use free AI tools like Canva to auto-generate slides. You can buy a structured $500 framework kit, or you can wire $6,000 to a professional deck consultant. Dropping $6,000 on a slide deck feels steep for a pre-revenue startup. Yet if that consultant helps land the round, their fee represents less than 1% of the potential seed capital. But the most expensive option is not a guaranteed safety net. Securing that seed money requires matching your pitch strategy to your startup's specific operational constraints. This chart shows the survival rates of Y Combinator companies compared to standard industry averages. YC startups survive at an 87% rate, roughly double the industry baseline. They achieve this by enduring a process founders call pivot hell. Almost no company in that surviving 87% pitches their original idea at demo day. Mintlify tore down and rebuilt their business model 8 separate times during their batch. Deal pivoted 3 times in just 10 weeks before landing on international payroll. YC partners often compare this brutal iteration to Thomas Edison's scientific method. The first 9,999 light bulbs that failed to illuminate were not failures. They were necessary data points proving what did not work. If your core product idea might change entirely by Tuesday, a highly polished, locked-in pitch deck becomes a massive liability. Investors write checks to founders who adapt to harsh realities, not founders with beautiful graphic design. Your deck strategy must prioritize structural adaptability over finality. This chart evaluates our 3 deck building options against 2 metrics: the upfront cost and friction on the x-axis and narrative flexibility on the y-axis. Starting in the top left, free AI tools like Canva require zero marginal cost and offer maximum flexibility. The primary advantage here is raw speed. You can build, test, and discard 4 entirely different pitch narratives in a single afternoon. The trade-off is that these tools lack inherent venture capital logic. They generate generic structures that experienced investors instantly recognize. AI acts as a pure speed multiplier. If your underlying business narrative is confusing, AI simply ensures you will reach a rejection much faster. This chart plots the agency route down in the bottom right. Hiring a consultant requires high capital input and days of communication overhead just to get an outsider up to speed. Agencies provide immediate visual credibility. A professional designer crafts a bespoke aesthetic that looks distinct from the repetitive templates investors see in every other meeting. But outsourcing introduces the severe operational risk of premature narrative lock-in. If customer feedback forces you to pivot your product 4 days before demo day, you cannot easily update those bespoke graphics. Your $6,000 deck instantly becomes worthless. High-polished consultants financially penalize agility. For a pre-product market fit founder, choosing this route traps you in a narrative you may need to abandon tomorrow. This chart positions the framework kit as the optimized middle path. Paying a moderate upfront cost alters the equation by balancing professional structure with total control. A framework enforces structural discipline. By using pre-vetted prompts, it forces you to translate your raw ideas directly into standard venture capital dialect. Because you own the source files, your narrative flexibility remains fully intact. You can rewrite your core value proposition at 2 in the morning the night before your pitch. However, this requires significant work. While a framework provides the architectural skeleton, you are still solely responsible for the strategic thinking required to define your business model. It solves the structural layout of the deck, but places the burden of narrative clarity exactly where it belongs, squarely on your shoulders. Every investment decision hinges on the clarity of your reasoning. High-quality slides exist only to provide visual proof for arguments you make in person. To prove your pitch works, apply the 30-second stranger test. An investor must be able to comprehend your entire business model simply by reading slide titles. If your titles read like a confusing textbook, the most expensive graphic design in the world will not save you. A highly polished deck wrapped around a weak narrative loses every time, while a basic, structurally sound deck wrapped around a strong narrative wins. This flowchart maps 3 deck solutions to specific founder profiles. The correct choice depends entirely on your current runway and stage. If you're a pre-seed founder iterating in pivot hell, you're the bootstrapper. Spend $0 and use AI tools to maximize iterations. If you're a Series A founder with locked product market fit, you're the deep tech specialist. Hire the consultant for bespoke visual translation. If you have a solid idea but lack time to speak VC dialect, you're the optimizer. The structural kit provides your highest return on investment. To take that middle path, our $497 VC Ready Kit provides 16 copy-paste AI prompts and slide themes. You can find the direct link in the description below. A single unclear slide can cost you a warm investor intro. Choose the tool matching your stage and optimize for absolute clarity above all else.